Daybreak. Right now we want to talk about power and the new tariffs, and of course we value your feedback on this discussion. I want to be displaying some of your messages, so send us any texts in terms of any queries you have. 22422. The hashtag is Daybreak. And joining me in studio to talk a little bit about this is the man who announced new tariffs yesterday. He's the Director General of the Energy Regulatory Commission, Robert Pavel Oimeke. Welcome to the program. Welcome to Daybreak.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for finding time to join us today. I want to immediately begin by taking you to the front page of the Daily Nation. Power bills up 54% for middle class, while wealthiest families who burn more than 1,500 units a month, I'm trying to imagine what kind of house that is, will get a break and laugh all the way to the bank. That's the Daily Nation. The Standard on page 31, the headline is ERC Power Bill Shocker for Consumers in New Pricing. Now, the narrative that came out yesterday was that this new pricing was an overall relief, but deeper scrutiny shows or seems to show otherwise. What is this new tariff meant to be?
Thank you very much, Wega, for having me here. I want to categorically state that the headline in the Daily Nation is not accurate. We have several reductions in terms of the power tariff that we announced yesterday. And I want to note that overall, what all consumers are going to enjoy is about 14% reduction in power tariffs. I also want to note that during the 2013, when we did a tariff review, we had constraints in terms of generation capacity.
Okay.
Right now, we don't have excess, but we are at a point where we cannot say that we have constraint in terms of power generation. So if you consider that where we have structured the tariff structure to ensure that the more you consume, the cheaper it is for you.
Okay.
You remember previously, it was we wanted to save power. Kenya Power has been very active. The Commission has been very active. That can you install solar water heating and all that. But now we are saying that if you are consuming more, economies of scale, we want to give you a discount.
Okay.
And I also want to note that the 54% is not true.
And all the papers, not just the Nation. The Standard says it's a shocker. Citizen TV, same thing. You say that the media has gotten this completely...
I want to say that they have gotten it wrong. We have a category that's between 11 units and 100 units that are getting about a 20% increase.
Yes.
This is because in that category, initially we had the lifeline from 0 to 50. Now the Kenyans, the consumers who are between 11 and 50, now do not enjoy what we call the cross-subsidy. That was subsidized by the government.
So the subsidy has been taken away?
The subsidy has been taken because now we are banding, we are creating a new band of 0 to 10.
And these forms about 11 to 100.
Yeah, 11 to 100.
Okay.
Now the Kenyans who are seeing this increase of about 20% are only the Kenyans who the subsidy has been taken, because we are banding. We are also trying to support the bottom end of the pyramid, the Kenyans who live who are actually cannot afford.
And on average, they use between 0 to 10 kilowatts per hour per month.
Yeah.
Okay. So what prompted, before we get into the nitty-gritties of the numbers, what prompted this harmonization?
Basically, there have been many complaints from Kenyans, many of them saying they don't understand. You buy tokens today, then you buy tomorrow. The cost per unit always changes. It varies. This is because of the complex structure that we had. Initially, we had to charge you the lifeline tariff. When you consume more than 50, we charge you now the domestic category. When you go beyond 1,500, it goes higher now. Right now, we have banded in that if you are in lifeline, we leave you there because that's your consumption. We are consuming 2 units, 5 units, less than 10, we keep you there. Unless you consume more than 3 months above your normal category, then we migrate you to the domestic category, ordinary. So again, this is simple to understand because this framework will ensure that there is no variability in terms of your bills every month.
I mean, you say it's simple to understand, but I think Kenyans are quite confused, and I'm seeing that with some of the feedback. For example, so you say that overall the cost of power has come down, but the truth of the matter is, while you may have scrapped off the fixed charges, you have also increased the cost per unit for most users. Why?
I want to explain that one of the key changes that we made was the removal of the fixed cost charge, the fixed charge. Typically, it was
150 to
it was 150 exclusive VAT. If you add VAT, it comes to 173.
Okay.
Before you consume a unit, assume you consumed 2 units, you had an outstanding bill of 173 shillings. Then you add in the cost of that 2 units. Say it is 20 shillings each, that is 40 shillings. You can see before 2 units will cost you over 200 shillings. But now with the new structure, the costs, even if you don't consume, you don't get a bill. If you go on holiday for 3 months, you come back, you should not be having a huge bill on your account.
Because there are no more fixed costs.
Because we don't have fixed
But why
charge.
the increase in the cost per unit? What necessitated that?
You see, what we are trying to do is rationalize. We are looking at what you are paying.
What does that mean?
What you were paying previously, there was energy charge that was lower. There was fixed charge, whether you consumed or not consumed, that will be charged. There are also other levies that are included. There's taxes, there's VAT that is 16%. So if you look at that mix, the contribution to the total bill, it was actually higher. And that's why if you look at the lifeline now, especially if you look at the 10, if you consume 10 units, you are getting almost 37% decrease in your bill. The best scenario is we have released another press release giving sample bills, what Kenyans should expect.
I actually have it here with me, this document.
So if you go to the 10 units.
Okay, let me just quickly go there. I'm at the 10 kilowatts per hour, 10 units.
Yeah, 10 units, if you can compare what somebody was paying in May and what somebody will be paying in August, if you consider that is about a 36.8% decrease.
Okay.
This is now the total bill, because now we have tried to harmonize the bills.
Okay.
The word is harmonize, to make it simple for Kenyans to understand.
But you've still not explained to me why the cost per unit has gone up.
No, it's gone down. If you check.
No, the cost per unit. For example, in May, we're talking about 2.50 Kenya shillings per unit.
Yeah.
In August, 12 Kenya shillings.
Yeah.
Why that one?
I want to explain that.
The devil is in the details.
If you are cooking rice, there are various ingredients that go into the rice. It is not just the rice itself. There is cooking fat, there is salt, there is other onions and other things.
Okay.
Now what we have decided is, instead of telling you the rice itself, this is the cost, the oil is this cost, the onions, the tomatoes, we have decided to harmonize, put them as one component. That's why you are seeing that. And if we removed, the 2.0 doesn't have the fixed charge. The 2.0 doesn't have some adjustments that we have done. Like inflation, we have built it into that 12. We have also built what we call the forex exchange, because there is a forex adjustment that is normally done.
Okay.
So all these have been harmonized into the 12.
Kenya Power has been on record as saying that, and I can give some quotes, operating costs have gone up. They need funds to upgrade the rickety network. There are those who feel that despite you dropping the fixed cost, that this is actually a very cleverly engineered scheme to inevitably raise more money for power.
That's
that
not
if you
true.
do the calculations, overall what you will make at the end of the month is more, because domestic consumers, a section of them, are now really complaining that their costs are going up.
I want to say that overall the costs are coming down by 14%. And let me give you a simple example.
Okay.
When you purchase a new car, do you purchase and drive it all the years without maintenance? You have to take it to the garage for maintenance. You have to replace tires. You have to do a little maintenance to it. The same way the electric grid has to be maintained. When a blackout comes, the maintenance team has to respond. There is also what we call upgrading, ensuring the grid reaches most parts of the country. So we have to develop a new infrastructure, the transmission line, the distribution lines. So just like any other asset, you cannot keep it. Even a photocopy in your office has to be maintained. There is normally a maintenance contract for the technician to come and service it. So what we are trying to do is have a sustainable energy sector where we factor in operation and maintenance. We also factored in what we call expansion of the grid. Our access rate is about 73%. There are still Kenyans, about 30%, who are not connected to the grid.
If that is the case, then why remove the 150?
The 150 we removed
because on one hand you're saying the costs have increased, but on the other hand you're saying you're giving Kenyans a gift of deduction of 150.
What we have done to the fixed cost is basically built it into the energy charge. It's actually built into that
so it's not been removed?
It has not been removed. The only thing is that if you don't consume, you don't pay for it. But the moment you're consuming, you are sort of paying for it. So we have tried to harmonize. That's why I use the word harmonization, trying to make all the costs together.
Okay.
To make it more simple and understandable for Kenyans.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to understand what you're saying. So effectively, the 150 has just been moved elsewhere.
We have moved it into.
So is this a plus for Kenyans?
It is a plus because it's
How?
simple for you to understand.
We thought that you had actually completely scrapped it out, but now it sounds like
we
you
have removed it and built it into the base of the tariff to ensure that you only pay for it when you're consuming. Imagine if you are away, people have homes in the village, they have also homes in Nairobi. You are away from the village, maybe you just have a caretaker. Then after 6 months you go, you've not been consuming electricity, then you find a huge bill. We've made it very rational in that when you consume, you pay for it. If you don't consume, you don't pay for it. Is that not equity?
Well, I think my contention is that the press releases yesterday were that Kenyans celebrate your fixed charges have been scrapped.
Yes.
But what you're telling me now is that they've not been scrapped. They've just been built elsewhere, and some may enjoy the benefits of them being moved elsewhere, but not everyone. Inconsistent messaging.
No, you look at the bigger picture.
Is my concern.
You look at the overall impact because you've done the overall impact. The overall impact is the reduction of the power tariffs and also a benefit to most of the consumers. We look at the commercial industrial, there are various reductions from 4.1% to about 4.7%, an average of 4.4%. We look at the small commercial, the people who do the welding, the portion mills, the small agro processing, they have a discount of about 20%, 20.5%.
Who bears that discount?
Actually, what we've done...
Is it ERC, is it Kenya Power, or is it the other consumers in the other categories? You see, that's where I'm trying to understand. Yeah.
What we've done, the other thing which I've not mentioned, is that we are moving towards what we call renewable energy and cheap generation. KenGen has put a lot of geothermal into the grid, and this come at an affordable cost. We have a number of solar farms coming in. We have wind projects coming in. We have renewable energy coming in. And what happens is that when we use the less expensive thermals that are very expensive, when you generate power from the petrol or fuels, it is very expensive. It's actually into a tune of about 23 shillings per kilowatt hour. But now when you do the converse, when you generate from hydro and geothermal, it is about 5 or so shillings.
But as of today, those projects you're mentioning are still not online.
No, they are. KenGen is producing almost 651 megawatts.
Okay, have you factored them into these calculations?
Yes, that's why we have a discount.
Because we know the promises of cheaper power have come with, for example, Kenya's plan to import power from Ethiopia. We know that's not yet happening.
Yes.
Lake Turkana, I'm sure you watched Sunday with Jeff Koinange, that's also not coming.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm asking you again. This subsidy you're giving Kenyans, where are you getting it from?
I want to tell you that Lake Turkana wind power is coming in September. The similar message the PS gave you, we do the planning for the energy sector. It's coming, it's 300 megawatts, it's coming at an affordable cost. That is part of the impact you are seeing in this tariff because you factor that in. We also have Garissa wind, about 54 megawatts that's coming in. The cost, some of the impact on the tariff is coming from that.
When is the Garissa one going to be online?
It's also coming on September.
So by end of September, those two projects?
Those two projects will be in. We also expect about 168 megawatts from KenGen next year, July. They are actually on course in terms of construction. That will come in at a cheaper cost. That's why we're having that discount. So the discount that we have given, the about overall 14%, is a result of cheap generation that is expected in the next few months.
How do you respond to those who say that you're punishing domestic users and massaging that blow by claiming to drop the 150 Kenya shillings fixed charge? How do you respond?
It's actually not true because the people are consuming above 11 units
100
to, no, just say to any amount, is actually a total of about 2 million customers. It's actually 1.6 million.
Of your 6
of the 6.8 now.
6.8, okay.
6.8. So if you look at that percentage, and if you look at the revenue generated from them, is actually very small. The people who contribute almost 60% of the bills are the commercial industrial. They are small, but they consume more of the power. We have also the small commercial whom we have given a discount. They also consume some junk of the power. So it's not true that we have taken money from the common man. That is
from one section of society
one section to that.
To subsidize for the other.
It's not true. As explained to you, the increase is a result of the banding. We changed the support, the cross subsidy, the lifeline tariff from 0 to 50 to 0 to 10.
So what do you tell this particular group?
Yeah.
And I believe I'm one of them because I've noticed my power bill has grown up this month. What do you tell me after the complaints?
I want to assure you that what we did, we are also going to still to review the tariffs, and we expect cheap generation. We expect the Ethiopia hydro, the 400 megawatt.
By when?
That is expected in 1 year's time.
So by
August,
June, August next year,
it will be coming in, and it's coming at a cheap cost. We also expect a number of solar projects to come in. So overall, we are looking at a scenario where we expect the power tariffs to come down when we do the next tariff review because of the cheap generation.
Let me ask you this, and this is one of the reasons why there's been a lot of uproar over this particular matter. Inconsistent power bills.
Yes.
If you go onto Twitter right now, if you look at the Twitter handle of Jeff Koinange, Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi, and several others, they have quoted humongous power bills. Jeff Koinange has said 70,000 Kenya shillings. Ahmed Nasir, 220,000 Kenya shillings. Can you explain those bills to us for people who have regular homes?
I will try to give you reasons why that could be high, because there are a number of factors that can contribute to that. Okay. One of the key factors as a regulator that we have identified is the quality of electrical wiring in houses. You can be in a 3-bedroom house. One person is paying 30,000, one person is paying 10,000. One of the reasons is that if you use the wrong size of wires, the thickness of the copper wires that take power around your house, that can contribute to losses. If they are so thin, it heats up and there are losses.
Is there not an industry standard?